Happy brunch. Happy brunch. Blessings to you all. I thought I would serenade you all while people found this stream. Gotta get the key. I had a hammer. I'd hammer in the morning. I'd hammer in the evening. All over this land. Sing it with me. I'd hammer out danger. I'd warm my throat up. Yeah, right. Hammer out warning. I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. I had a bell. Ring it in the morning. Ring it in the evening. All over this land. I'd ring out danger. I'd ring out warning. I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a song, I sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, sing out warning, I sing out love between my brothers and my sisters. Sorry, all over this land. I realized I should have warmed my throat up first. I got a hammer. I got a bell. I got a song to sing. All over this land. It's a hammer of justice. It's a bell of freedom. Excuse me. It's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. My apologies. I should have warmed my voice. Hi, everyone. How is everyone? Can you hear me okay? Oh, much better when I clear my throat. I have taken some Allegra. So. Well, how's our beautiful crowd today? Everybody doing well? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting the stream. I'll get myself comfortable. Tell us who you are, what you eating, what you drinking. While I clear my throat, I've got several things that I'm drinking right now, which I would like to share with you. For starters, I'm finishing up my morning coffee. That's some nice Cafe d'Art, courtesy of our benefactor, 1111. Got some nice water here. And I forgot to get a cup, so I'll just put it in my water. But this is the tea I am drinking to clear and heal my throat. People are like, Whimsy, you have almost 400 herbs. Why don't you just treat your allergies naturally? I'm going to do a combination of both. They kind of come and go seasonally. My cough, it's allergies like the cottonwood. So I did have to play with the filter a little bit. But this is the tea that I made for myself to heal myself. This is a combination of mullein. Mullein will coat my throat. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit. It's very strong, so I'll just go ahead and put it in my water. And along with the mullein, I've added a little elderberry flower, just in case part of this is bacterial. And peppermint for flavor. Peppermint for flavor. And, nettle and clover as antihistamines. Clover is a blood thinner. It's both a COX-1 and COX-2, as is willow bark, meaning that they inhibit inflammation. I don't drink alcohol. I'm kind of sensitive. It makes me sick. So it's one of the reasons why I do teas instead of tinctures. L'chaim, everyone. And the overall flavor is actually rather pleasing. All right, we have a couple of announcements we want to make today. Go ahead and take a seat. Let's all get comfortable. For starters, I hope you all enjoyed last month's book selection. Did you all enjoy it? Yeah, great. Okay, so this month we have another book out. We have another book out. Can you all see me okay? I've got a couple things open at once here. Excuse me, I didn't mean to cough in you. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to announce is that our book of the month is Stumbling Towards Grace. As you can see, I figured out how to use the mirror. Thank you, Debbie, for mentioning that. So now you can read this. I got the rid of the mirror. Stumbling Toward Grace by Rosalia Scalia is our book selection this month for the book for the book club selection every month at the end of the month, the last Tuesday at 6 p.m. after Taco Tuesdays. Chuck Dransfield and I read from a book that we've selected from our fans and members. So we hope you can join us for that. Take a little bit more of this. Hi, Geocosmic. Oh, Marvel, you're having a cinnamon raisin. Oh, how yummy is that? I love cinnamon. Okay, the other announcement I wanted to make for people is that class is starting on Wednesday at 6 p.m., September 6th. If you are an HCRV practitioner, we hope you can join us. Yeah, please do that. Any other announcements I need to do here? Oh, hello, Kieran. Okay, also Debbie Brady, our our creative director and also the talent manager for our talent manager. She has started a book club, or no, excuse me, a fan page on Facebook. So please check it out. And if you become a fan, you enter once a month to win a free reading with me. So that would be really cool if you could join us for that. Okay. Are we ready to do the empath prayer? We've decided, Debbie and I, that we'll start with the empath prayer. Sorry, this got clear. I'm always fine until the camera rolls, and I don't know why. That's great, Debbie. Thank you so much for doing that for us. Also, if you haven't liked and subscribed, that would be fantastic. Much appreciation for that. Think about being a member. It's a great way of supporting the channel. All right. Wow, I like that tea. You know, that tea is a lot more mild than I thought it was going to be. All right. Also, check out our merch. Debbie Brady is also the creative director. She keeps busy, don't you think? She's a talent manager. She's a one-stop shop for YouTube talent. She is also the person who's designed the merch, if you'd love to support the merch. I don't know. I just drain. My sinuses always drain when I go on camera. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. It's a little bit better over there. It's part allergies, but it's also something goes on. Okay, let's do the empath prayer. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Okay, how y'all doing? You guys okay? Hi, Yolanda. Oh, I'm sorry. I just, there's so much I have to remember, to be honest with you. When you've got these types of allergies, this morning I dusted, I did a neti, I took Allegra, I made a tea. There was one thing I forgot to do, and it's setting me off, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I forgot to warm up my voice. Right, you're supposed to warm. So it's if there's one thing, because that's how bad my allergies are right now. I just got to get through it. Okay. Yeah. So I made the announcement. We did the memberships and merge. Okay, I've got a list. Debbie makes me stick to. It's her fault. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So did anybody have any questions or comments for me or clarifications about any of the remote views up to this point? We've covered I'm just going to open up the YouTube as well, because sometimes entirely understand. They edit some of your comments. I think it's only allowing me to see members, and I do apologize because I would like to see everyone's comments. So I'm just going to take a moment to do that, see if you guys have any quick questions for me, and then we'll go ahead and do some remotes. Does that work for everybody? And then I think that I will stick to the schedule. Hi, Rhonda Shank. Great to see you. Hi, Kay. I look forward to seeing you later today. Hi, Pips, Mama. Thank you for being here. Hi, Melody Harmon. Great to see you. Thank you, Joel Tilson. Much appreciation for your help today. Hi, Melody Harmon. Hi. Hi, Maribel. Whiskey, honey. Yeah, oof, that would just make me so sick. I have the enzyme in the stomach that breaks down alcohol. Women tend to have less of it than men, which is why a lot of alcohol is digested before it hits the liver in men. There are a lot of reasons why women carry babies, and maybe that's why the universe and its infinite wisdom makes women more sensitive to substances that are poisonous, right? Like alcohol would be poisonous to the fetus. But yeah, we can't break it down as easily. Some women, depending on your ancestry, might have more of that particular enzyme. But yeah, I think I have none of that enzyme. And I maybe can have 2 tablespoons of red wine before I start to feel sick. It's literally that I'm that sensitive. Other people I know are the same way, just cannot drink. Yeah, but so that's the secret for me, is tinctures, things that have alcohol, the smell of brandy, all that stuff bothers me. So you can extract many of the active constituents just by using heat. So why not use just heat and make a tea that is steeped? Or you can grind it down. There are ways to extract where you don't have to use alcohol. Other announcement I wanted to make is that we are raising funds to help rebuild Maui. Our charity remains the AmericanForest.org. If anything we're doing today is even remotely entertaining to you, please think about throwing a couple bucks over to AmericanForest.org. Joel is making a really interesting point, which is part of the remote we were giving, which has to do with the fact that Ukraine is making huge gains in Russia, and they've also got long-range missiles. Victims are done being victims. That's the remote view. That is the remote view I want everybody to sit in. I want you to sit in the collective energy of the planet for just a second. I want you to sit in the collective energy of yourself. We are fed up. We have reached the tipping point. And so bullies, when that happens, they have to decide whether or not we are worth the trouble. When a bully, when a sociopath thinks that they can get away with it because you're a nice person and because you're sweet and docile, and so you won't fight back and you'll believe the abusive comments, and you've got misguided therapists saying that the best thing you can do when you're a victim of narcissistic abuse is to walk away rather than understand that you have certain human rights as a U.S. citizen and can sue their attorney if their attorney is harassing you. You see, what has starting to happen is that we, the citizens, are snapping out of it. We are fighting back. We have had enough. We have had enough, and we are sticking up for the bully. Like what happened to me recently. I had a Harvard from lawyer threatening me because I'm just trying to get paid back, right? Somebody defrauded me. It was a member of my own family. And I'm done. So what do I got to do? I got to go now report this Harvard lawyer to the New York Law Review and to the Grievance Council with all the evidence, because I'm not going to be a victim anymore. And you're not going to be a victim anymore. The people of Ukraine are not going to be a victim anymore. And so the bullies, if you're a bully, if you're somebody who's taking advantage of a vulnerable person, The message from Spirit is you may want to rethink that. You may want to rethink that because we're moving in the reckoning phase. We had talked about 2023. We had talked about the fall of 2023 and how there would be an accounting, and then there would be a reckoning. And that's pretty much what's happened. We had the accounting when they made an accounting of the crimes. And then they started arresting people and charging people. So now remember, when you think in terms of Kabbalah, it's a circle. And it's not a circle that goes this way. It's a circle. We think of it as going like this. Return, 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 return. Now to return in Hebrew. How do you say to return in Hebrew? See, I should have been a rabbi. I thought about it. Actually, did you know that women cannot be rabbis? Because we are rabbas. Female rabbi is called a rabbah. See, I taught you a little Hebrew there. Male rabbi is a rabbi. Female rabbah. Rabbi, rabbah. Okay, so tshuva is to return. Ta, tshuva, to return back, right? So it goes back to this mystical idea. So why is the circle going backwards? Hebrew's backwards too, right? In baya adina naimod. So what's wrong with these ancient Kabbalists and rabbis? Why are they so damn confused? They're doing everything backwards. We got to go forwards, make money, tame the earth, don't plant trees. The rabbis also said plant trees, right? The rabbis and the rabbas, right? Both genders, right? We're rabbis. It's kind of a lost thing. We got to go back to that, right? More balance, right? Of the energies. Got to have rabbaim. We got to have rabbot, right? We got to have both, right? But this idea of going into the circle, that we always return back to the same energy. We always go back to the place we were before. We always go back to the same vibration. So now is the time of the days of awe in the Jewish calendar, right? So we are preparing for Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year of new opportunities. It's not the Jewish New Year. It's not really, no. We call it the Rosh, the head, but it really isn't. Rosh Hashanah, which will be falling in September, it's the beginning of a new life for yourself because you've cleared out the old karma. You've returned back to unfinished business from that year. You've decluttered, you've donated, you've apologized to people, you've paid your debts. Tshuva is the idea of going back to it so that you can finish up any ill will you have with another person. And then if you don't, it comes the reckoning, which is Yom Kippur, and this idea of the tree of life, or being inscribed in the book of life, which is this idea that if you are karmically out of balance, we can't guarantee, the energies of the world cannot guarantee your safety. It's not a threat from a Jewish perspective or a mystical perspective. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying if you are not aligned with the natural order, if you don't pay your debts, if you become a burden on the community, if you're a liar and a cheater, there's no reason that the community at large is going to protect you, and neither will the natural order. Therefore, be about your business, child, right? Be about your business, pay your debts, give an account and a reckoning. So that is the karmic wheel that we return back to every time. What happens when you don't complete your debts? It's got to come back, right? This is why Kabbalists were very concerned about reincarnation, that reincarnation exists, but also in Judaism, we have this idea of reincarnation being a choice, that some great saints, tzaddikim, tzaddikot, great saints, choose to incarnate, right? So you have this idea of Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, that 600,000 souls stood on Mount Sinai. we jokingly call it the Jewish people, right? But it's really this idea of this mystical contract between certain people who have chosen this incarnation to create the fixing of the world. So they come here as worker bees. You and I, we come here as worker bees to construct in this matrix heaven on earth. We agree to incarnate here. We've got our little walkie-talkies, right? We're remote viewers. And we're in this matrix trying to create what in Hebrew is called tikkun olam, the fixing of the world. And so eventually when our work is done, we will create heaven in this incarnation, in this dimension, and the work will be complete. And then we can move on to the next incarnation, to the next world, continuing to evolve, creating heaven into infinity. That's tikkun olam from a Kabbalistic perspective. And that is why we see people are fighting back. I've had it enough. I'm not going to take it anymore. Take this job. And you see what's going on also in Ukraine right now, where people are just done. We're absolutely fed up, and we're just not going to take it anymore. Questions about the remote? If you want to get with the vibration of the Kabbalists, because they're doing a lot of chanting. The other thing that Kabbalists are doing right now, rabbis that are very, very advanced, is they're working, because I've talked to some of them. They're not going to tell me how to do it, but I've spent Shabbat dinners at their tables in Jerusalem. These are the real deals, but they do a lot of grid work. They're spending a lot of time trying to keep us from blowing ourselves up. And you will never know who they are. They just look like some old Jewish guy or some old Jewish lady just walking down the street. Some of the most advanced Kabbalists I've met are living in a little home in the middle of nowhere in Jerusalem or wherever, and living very quiet lives because they're trying to get into a remote state, see the matrix, work with the matrix. I've met some people, some rabbis that I honestly don't know how they do some of the stuff they do. They can get into your matrix, figure out your karma, figure out your incarnation, figure out who your husband is, figure out and they can do the mathematics. That's really crazy stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff. When I was in Jerusalem, we went to Mea Shearim to meet. We had an appointment with this Kabbalist. He told me I was going to be a doctor. He told me I'd return back to the United States. He told me I was meant to be a doctor. He told me everything would be okay in my life. He told me I'd be happy. Yeah, it all was true. It all came true. Another Kabbalist, my friend, she's not even Jewish, she's Korean. We were walking to a place to pray, a sacred site, and a group of rabbis came to talk to her and told her she was about to meet her husband, that she shouldn't worry about losing her job. She was having problems at her job. She flew back to Jerusalem. The boss that was harassing her was fired. A guy came to work that same week. It turned out to be her husband. The rabbis just called her over and said, I think we can help you. And they could read what was wrong in her matrix. We can fix this. And they did something to her. There were 3 of them. Yeah, I think you're okay now. Here, just read this psalm and take this bath. I think you're okay. You're all right. You can go home. Didn't charge her. We just saw something and you need to go take care of it. Yeah. I've witnessed it. I can't explain it. Yeah, but when I went to her wedding and saw her husband and that she had gotten promoted and the guy who was threatening her job got fired, after that, and they said they would take care of everything and have a welcome to Israel. And and then when she got back, her husband showed up, and it was love at first sight. And she walked down the aisle at the wedding, and she and I gave each other a look like we were both in complete shock, like everything happened. Yeah, isn't that crazy? All right, let's take a moment to give you the collective. This collective reading is for all of you that wish to join us today for our get together, and we want to thank you for being here. If any of this reading applies to you, please receive it. If it doesn't, just pass it down like the great brunch table that it is, and hopefully it'll apply to someone else. We've already said the empath prayer, so we'll just go right into it. Where you are at right now, at this time in your life, is a time when you have completed the process of grieving. Perhaps you had things you had held on to, like Yolanda asked about. This idea of the narcissistic wound, that we have compassion even for those we may have strife with, people who have taken advantage of our kindness, people who may have taken advantage of your compassion and used your compassion as a weapon against you, which is what narcissistic abuse is, right? It's people who use your compassion against you, so you become defrauded, you get used, etc., right? You can see this heartbreak is the issue, but we have this 9 of Cups coming in. Your wish has been granted. So many of us may be disappointed with other people, and maybe we've been disappointments to others. I know I've hurt people, right, when I was younger, right? So we're coming out of this 3 of Swords, which can be a feeling of just being brokenhearted. Where we are at right now is that a lot of stuff is starting to come out, and it's starting to come out very, very quickly. The hidden is being revealed. That if somebody's done something wrong, it's coming out, the accounting, right? And the reckoning. Don't do anything in private you can't admit to in public. Don't do anything in private you can't admit to in public, because the private is gone now. Cameras everywhere, right? You guys know that periodically people complain that I'm hired to spy, right? Don't break the law, right? Don't break the law, and then you won't have a problem with it, right? If I'm scanning France and I've been sent to walk the grid, and people say, go find some violence, Dr. Whimsy. Where's the next protest going to be? This is level 2 HCRV. I want you guys to start learning to walk a grid. You're a Geiger counter, right? You're a professional empath. So you walk the grid. You energetically imagine floating around Europe. So say you find some violence floating around the south of France, right? The person who exposes it is not causing it. That person isn't causing the riots. You understand, right? That person didn't cause the protest. That person simply floated energetically over the environment, saw the protests were building, and then makes an announcement and says, hey, I'm nothing special. I just do HCRV. Anybody can learn this technique. You can be well trained within, by, I think once you complete level 3, you're pretty solid. They could have just listened to the remote viewers. I wasn't the only remote viewer that went down that was worried about France. Other people were worried about France. Other people were, was it Susan Lynn? I mean, there were other people that went down that said, something's going to happen here. We need to get some mediation in here. So you have more of that starting to happen in our lives and around us, this quickening, this exposure. See, again, there I go, pulling cards before they come out. Second house, sun, exposure happening quickly to your benefit, to your benefit. What is above you? Continue dreaming. Your dreams are good for you. This is the card of the remote viewer, and this is also the card that I use for aliens. Yay! Which was one of the remote views that we're going to talk about on Taco Tuesday. Have I ever remote viewed aliens? And if I have, could we have a little bit of non-alcoholic tequila and talk about it? Yes. Now, I chose this card to be my card for the Greys, and for the idea being that perhaps there are other species of humans that have hidden themselves. They've cloaked themselves, evolved deep in the caves, and they're simply unbelievably timid, and have evolved to look differently, evolved to develop extremely advanced sciences because they weren't putting all their attention toward killing things. They were putting their attention towards cloaking devices, right? So he's cloaked. You can see him cloaking. He's smart, he's intelligent, and he's cloaked. So that was why I chose that card for Homo Glaucus. Homo Glaucus is man. I chose to, as an anthropologist, to call the Greys Homo Glaucus, but some other anthropologists are saying there's two species of Homo Glaucus, because you have the hybrid or the taller Homo Glaucus, and then you have the original shorter Homo Glaucus, which makes sense because early Homo erectus, if they split with us, and why we picked Homo was because they're bipedal, they have two eyes, they're bipedal, they're standing upright, so they clearly share genetic markers with us. So maybe they split around the time. We had several splits around the time of Homo erectus, and we were being hunted into extinction by leopards. So we learned how to fight back, use fire. But the theory that some anthropologists are working with is that they became like the hermits, that a section of the Homo erectus just said, well, things aren't so bad in this cave. Let's go deeper into the cave. Let's go deeper into the cave. Well, there's food we can survive on. We've got swamp water here. We've got algae, which has vitamin D in it. Green algae we can collect and make cakes. And we also have protein, spirulina, yum, yum. So that's what they were doing. They were making, like, theoretically, these swamp spirulina cakes and getting them out in the sun and living on this stuff and just going and studying the sciences and hiding out from the outside world until eventually they evolved scientifically, not from another species coming in, but they were always here. And they simply advanced faster than we did because of what they put their attention to, which was cloaking. It's a theory. Let's see if it happens. But the reason I bring it up, and the reason why it's coming up in these cards, is because this is the time of the account and reckoning, and this is the time of exposure. And so for that reason, many people feel that this is the year that we're going to start making real contact with Homo Glaucus. And I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. You guys are smarter than me, and you guys know more about this than I do, right? You guys know a lot more about this than I do, because I'm the new kid on the block just learning about this stuff. But these are things we want to think about. In terms of your personal life, though, the fact that the Hermit falls in your third house. Oh, I can feel the Allegra finally kicked in, thank God. In terms of the fact that the Hermit falls in your third house would lead me to think that you're headed towards a very deep period in your life of profound thought. I mean, look, this is what your heart is in. This is some deep thinking and deep creative work. You're also giving yourself permission to live a healthy life. Page of Cups, Archangel Raphael comes to you. So this is also a time, both in the nation, for the nation, but also for you as an individual, when we're all, you can't heal until you name the problem. If you are in denial and you pretend that the problem isn't there, oh no, my son is a wonderful child, he would never do something like that. No. We can't hold people accountable, and we can't get them the help they need. I'm moving away from this paradigm of the narcissist is the enemy, the wicked witch, the wicked witch. No, the narcissist is a profoundly wounded individual who desperately needs medical care and needs to be called out, and interventions are starting to happen. I mean, I just participated. I called an intervention on a family member that was having some problems. It was extremely devastating, because you can call those types of interventions like, you ripped off Jane, you stole so-and-so's for your drugs, or whatever the narcissistic wound is, but the person ultimately has to have their come to God moment or come to spirit and do the work themselves. But the fact that this healing work is moving into 6th position leads me to think that a lot of us are not only having this stuff. It went away. Yeah, the Allegra and also my herbs finally kicked in. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't warm my voice. I apologize. I'm telling you, you guys are headed towards a really powerful, creative time in your lives. I mean, just unbelievable. Look at that Ace of Swords in the final outcome. Victory after tears. You will be successful. Whatever you are fighting for, you win. Ace of Swords is victory. Good for you. Congratulations. I'll do one more. I want to do a clarification for everybody. New beginnings starting for you, possibly purchasing of new homes for some of you. Between April, best time for many of you when prices go down would be between spring and early summer of 2024. If you are considering purchasing property, like I might buy a condo next year. I want to have this little house, a townhouse. I don't need a lot of space for a garden. I mean, I'd like to plant a couple, maybe a townhouse. I don't know. But you can see here, new beginning, the springtime, possible real estate energy moving in for some of you. And if you already have a home, it would be the right time to consider maybe selling. So just yeah, because it falls in the 8th house. Yeah. So my advice to you with those types of cards, if you are thinking about purchasing, is maybe wait until the spring. Yeah. Well, that was fun. I hope you guys will make it. I hope you guys will be there on Wednesday. If you are empaths and healers, don't forget to get your book. It is required for class. You will need to get the book. The good news is that you can buy it used for very little. Hands of Light by Barbara Brennan. It is required reading. Yes. I think brand new, it's under, what is it, 35 bucks brand new? Does anybody know the price of Hands of Light if you buy it brand new? Get a hard copy. I would get a hard copy because whoops, I put that in my coffee. See, I'm talking to you at the same time. I would get a hard copy because you're going to want to make notes and stuff, because we go through, it's a really intense 10-week course. I mean, because we have to cover everything in Hands of Light and everything she talks about in core energetics within 10 weeks. So, yeah. Yeah, I've heard warnings about the condo situation, so maybe I won't do that. Yeah, I mean, I go to thrift books when I'm trying to buy books used. I'll go to thrift books, but if you want to give them your business instead of Amazon, Amazon sells used also. Well, the syllabus will be published on September 6th, your first week of class, and the syllabus is published after every lection in the description of the video. Some people want to read the first 42 pages before class, and I think that's great because when they come into class, they're ready to work. We are dividing up the class into 4 sections, so just be aware that you're working with 4 different people. If you're repeating class 1 and you feel like you're ready to do class 2 work, we do ask you to expand on the homework. If you want to be certified to be a teacher, it would be really great also if you can just try and have 3 practice terms a week. A lot of people, they come in for HCRV, but they don't do any practice. And then I'll say, well, did you practice over the weekend? Well, the dog got sick, or the dog ate my homework, kind of a thing. So just, yeah, it's up to you how quickly you progress. I have many, many students that retake level 1 because they feel like it's like the violin for them. There's just too many missing parts. They feel like their alignment is off, and I get that. I mean, I've repeated Core Energetics 1 at least 2-3 times before I went on to levels 2 and 3. So, and this is just based on the same Core Energetics courses work. So yeah, it's okay if you want to just keep repeating until you're confident. I think Geocosmic Valentine is ready, though, to get teaching certification. So that's kind of, you're actually going to be ready to build your manual. And if you are writing a manual, if you already have teaching level 1, 2, and 3, and you're writing your manual, you can use my syllabus and just add your notes to the syllabus to make it easy. It's just to help you build your manual for you and your students. Eventually, there's going to be official a manual. I think Debbie and I are talking about, we want to have it out based on the syllabus by spring of next year, Debbie, is that correct? So, but until then, yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, so we'll do a couple of blitzes. We're ready to blitz away as soon as I get the order. And again, if you can like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. Much appreciated. Also, be sure and check out all the cool merch and everything else that we have here on the channel. It's totally gorgeous, like our very own alien, Homo glaucus. Doesn't he look cute? Thank you, Debbie. Much appreciated. And memberships. Memberships are cool too, and they're get together and have free readings if you decide to be a member. All right, we are ready to blitz away. I think that we had a couple interesting questions. I think one of the questions that Joel was asking, if we could go in and take a look again at what's going on in Ukraine. I felt when I was Putin like it wasn't worth it. Like the bully is just, you think somebody's going to be an easy mark. You think you're just going to go and take their wallet. You think you're just going to take their purse. And instead of taking their purse, the victim beats the crap out of you. Their dog attacks you. The cat scratches you. And it's like eventually the bully says, this crap is just not worth it, and runs away. And that's how Ukraine feels. Do you really want to keep this misery going? You've killed over 200,000 of your own people. You want to keep coming at us? You had enough? That's how it feels. But let's take a look. Well, that's the secret recipe. The herbs and the Allegra together, man, works magic. All right, so yeah, come on, you got to be impressed by me. I read the cards before I show you the cards. Okay, karmic wheel is coming to an end. What's the karma? What's the karma? Taking the weapon away, the enemy flees because it can't be bothered. See what I did there? Oh, I'm just so good. You see the grid, right? And then it's physics, and then the cards fall based on the grid, right? A celebration armistice. This is the armistice card, right? Or as Linda G likes to say, dancing in the streets, right? Paul Simon has a song about that. Armistice Day. Huge creative explosion happening in Europe after the war ends. Many soldiers died. Look at that 10 of swords. Damn. Major attacks by Ukrainians on Russian air defense and on their bases is happening in the next 72 hours and will, God, see, I hate this crap, and will result in many Russian soldiers being killed. They're going to hit the direct hit on their base within the next 24 to 72 hours. I'll show it to you. Oh, gosh. They tried to run away. The Russians tried to run from the advance. I know we're taking Bakhmut and Zaporhitzhia right now. The West is, the Ukrainians. They didn't run fast enough. Oh, God, I hate these remotes. The Ukrainians. Channeling Archangel Michael, right? Head of the Ukrainian church. I mean, oof. Heavily armed. Michael comes with arms. The treasure trove with Michael. Oof. With Michael, the treasure trove, huge arms, comes Michael marching into war's victory. 6 of Wands. Can you see these cards? Look at his opposition. Look at the freaking opposition. The reckoning. The reckoning. Oof. It just goes from bad to worse. It just, in order to get back into G8, in order to have anything to do with the West, the new Russian administration is going to be taxed so badly that they will have to pay huge economic restitution to get back into anything that has to do with partnerships. This is the opposition. Pays restitution. I mean, you can read them. You don't even need me to be here. Star stands with Ukraine. A new beginning by this spring rebuild. Rebuild contract starting in the spring of 2024. Oh, I know why it takes so long. I mean, I'm in the remote. They want to demine Ukraine and get the dangerous crap out first. So what they'll do is they will do a cleanup, and that will go until spring. The cleanup of removing the toxins, removing the bombs, etc., the landmines. So they'll do a clearing once the Russians leave, and then after they give the all clear in April, they'll start the rebuild. In 6 months, we have victory here. Any questions about this? They're working in partnership, even with people that were once on Putin's side. I think China's going to get some cheap metal, cheap labor in there, because you can see this partnership moving in, the 2 of Cups with the victory, and you can see Ukraine stands strong by spring of 2024. It's, I think it was over when I looked at the karma and the base card. Base card, it's over. Karma card 5 of swords. That was all we needed to know. I mean, it's cool to see the rest of it, to know that, because I don't know that stuff. I mean, I'm not a soldier, But when you go in as a remote viewer, they've got to clear that area. They've got to clear those mines before they allow civilians to come into certain areas. Also, some areas are toxic. So they've got to do that. And then once the military says it's okay, then they can go in and start redoing bridges, etc. Does that help? Pretty fun, huh? Pretty interesting. Pretty gruesome. I mean, I don't... yeah, I think Putin, basically what the remotes have said to Putin is pick a successor now before the power is taken away from you to do so. It doesn't surprise me that he purged Wagner and that they were arresting and holding Wagner people in Belarus 100 miles from the border, because we had already, they weren't going to do a partnership with Wagner. You can only have one top dog, right? China, what's up with China claiming Russian half of island in the new, what? I just want to see China in general. I'll do a blitz on China. They're trying to create new trade route. Trade, global trade. It's all about trade. Two of Wands, you can see global trade and partnership, waiting for ships to come in. These are trade cards. Nine of Cups, getting their wish, slow, steady progress. It's just about opening roads of trade. It's always about that. I mean, I learned a lot by being a remote viewer because my brain doesn't work like this. Like, I don't know, why can't we just come home because we don't have the I just don't think like this. So as a remote viewer, when I go in and see that stuff, like, oh yeah, that's right, they got landmines. Farmers can't go back to that area. You just, you know, the whole lasso they did when they came over the eastern side, the brigadier general of the Ukraine, who we connected with, who told us that they were going to lasso them in so that they couldn't escape. Like, that's military stuff that we didn't know. It's kind of cool. I learned stuff by being a remote viewer. That isn't part of my own education. You know what I mean? And I love that. That's the thing I really love about being a remote viewer is I love seeing other people's way of looking at the world, and I just love it so much. And what it teaches me about the other side of things, you know. All right, let's see if Wagner is going to retaliate. That would mean that Wagner is loyal. Aren't soldiers of fortune loyal to nobody? Isn't that the whole point? There's am I frozen? Did I freeze? Did I freeze? Yeah, it was a little glitch. Okay. I think we're going to finish pretty soon, but yeah, they're trying to get power. You can see here. This is Putin's justice in opposition with them. A Five of Wands would indicate that they are in crisis. They were being paid pretty good, right? That was the whole civil unrest, was the fact that they didn't get paid, right? And then you have this attempt to flee, which leads me to think that the rebellion, no, they are, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Armistice, no, the war's over. Well, privatization, you know, this is what we said. Privatization brought down Russia's army because they put all the money into Wagner. Wagner claimed we're the elite fighters, so we get the best guns, we get the best this, we get the best that. All the money goes to Wagner, $1 billion a year. Putin said they were putting $1 billion a year or something into them. And that's what we saw when we went into the documents, was that they just simply didn't have any freaking money left in the military budget. So they had to fire them and say, we can't pay you anymore. You can join the regular Russian army, which is 200 rubles a month. What is it, 20 rubles to the euro or something like that? So they are getting paid, what? $10 a month, $20 a month, something like that. So you can imagine you're going from being paid $150,000 to now being offered $20 a month. What are you going to do? You're going to leave. And also, the takeaway here is that people that are not fighting because they're loyal to the country, you're basically bleeding your resources. When instead he should have put the resources towards building up his own military that with citizens that were loyal to protecting their country. And they were the ones that should have gotten the resources. And so it's another example of how privatization collapses a government. Because if you don't strengthen your infrastructure, you're going down. And that's basically what happened to Russia. They don't have any more tanks. And they're having a real hard time getting drones made because Iran wants out. And not only that, but he's in very bad shape with Erdogan for a number of reasons. Erdogan is very, very angry at him. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on. Did you guys have fun? How you guys liking Taco Tuesdays, Weird News Day, where Chuck and I get to pretend that we're a weird news show? Y'all having fun with that? You should check it out on Tuesdays, 5 o'clock, have a margarita and talk weird news. So what's coming up on the upcoming episode of Taco Tuesdays? We are going to be talking about the Homoglockus and the hybrids. We're going to review what Mughal, the filmmaker, he's a film editor, professional filmmaker. He is going to enhance the Lucy and Joe pictures. So you'll be able to see what Lucy and Joe, hybrid Homoglockus, right? We're going to have to come up with another name for the tall Homoglockus. So it looks like there were 3 of them, which it goes back to the remote. So we'll show you the film footage, and we're going to also, Chuck and I, talk through what the remote views told us or taught us about this species of human. Does that sound like fun to you guys? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Debbie Brady, our creative director and talent manager. Thank you so much to Joel Tilson for your kindness in helping as floor director. Thank you so much for all of the members who've decided to join us today for this brunch. Filler in Banglan, thank you for your help. Geocosmic Valentine, congratulations on becoming a teacher, getting your teaching certification, and thanks for your help today. Thanks to Melody and Yolanda, Kieran, and everybody else. I will see you soon. Oh, it says that I'm losing my stream here. Okay, it's probably because I've got 2 streams open at once. And sometimes when I have 2 streams open at once, it can take a little energy, more energy than we need. Hopefully that helped. Did that help, me getting rid of the other? Maybe I'll put it down here. I'll do it that way so that we don't have these glitches in the future. Okay, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Debbie Brady. If you're trying to get in for a reading, check out Wizio, 5-minute pre-taped videos that we send to the comfort of your own home. If you have a quick question for me, I think it's like $25-30. If you'd like to talk to me by phone and get a phone reading, I would love to give you a reading. If you need me to work as a remote viewer to find information, spy on anybody, I really like that. So check me out at Booksy. If you need me as a physician, I do general coaching, and I am a trained herbalist. If you need me to help you in that department, check out that information as well. We are out of here until next time. Be kind to all, and so all can be kind to you too. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.